Okay, Year 10, it's now time to move on to our second part of this term, second part of our film study, which is a practical project. You are a student film crew. You'll need to apply what you know and what you've been studying about film codes and conventions, all the different aspects of film, camera shots, angles, movements, sound, dialogue, lighting, costume, props and setting. All of these things you now need to put into practice. So what does this task look like? What will you need to do? On the slide here, you'll find the process spelled out for you. Use this as a checklist to make sure that by the end of it, you've done everything you need to do. To start with though, you will be choosing groups of between 3 and 5 people. Then in these groups, you'll be making a short film that is 3 to 5 minutes long. The final due date for this is Thursday, the 26th of June. So, checkpoint 1, brainstorm ideas. With this brainstorm, you'll need to use Keynote or Simple Minds app to create a visually attractive brainstorm of ideas for your film. Now remember that a brainstorm is just a range of possibilities. It doesn't have to be your final idea. Your brainstorm will need to include ideas about genre, setting, costume, and storyline. You'll be choosing your genre based on one of the genres that Little Miss Sunshine fits into. So a genre is a style or category of film. So the style of Little Miss Sunshine, it fits within adventure, it fits within comedy drama, and it also fits within road movie. So you choose one of those genres to base your film around. On this slide you'll find some links that identify key codes and conventions or typical aspects of these genres. For your chosen genre, choose 2 codes and conventions and then tell me how you're going to use that in your film. So then you'll move on to your second checkpoint, which is creating the concept. Use the template on Ultranet to make a concept for your film. And once you've completed this, post it to each of your blogs. The third checkpoint is creating a script and a storyboard. You have 2 options here. The first option is making an audio-visual script or an AV script. There's a template on Ultranet that you can use. It involves writing down on one side all of the audio information that we'll see in a scene, and on the other side writing down all the visual information, the action, the shot sizes, etc. Option 2 is that you create a storyboard. Use the storyboard app to create a storyboard for at least 10 frames of your film, 10 scenes. So checkpoint 4 is creating a film plan or schedule. This is a really important stage of the process. You'll need to really think about the locations you'll use, what equipment you'll need, how will you actually achieve the idea that you've come up with. When you've thought about all these aspects, including coming up with a timeline, present your plan to your teacher and have it signed off. Then you can move on to your filming. You should get all of those checkpoints between 1 and 4 done by Tuesday the 17th of June. Okay, so when you're ready to move on to filming, which is checkpoint 5, have a look at these tips for filming. These tips are super important. They can make all the difference between an amateur looking film that's really hard to watch and something that looks professional and sounds good. Of course, the last step of making your film is actually editing it. So when you come to editing it, you'll want to think very carefully about using the right sort of music, the right sort of pace, transitions, timing and titles that fit with your style of movie, the genre that you chose. There's also a link on this slide with tips for editing on iMovie. And we'll be sharing our films as well, so at the end you will need to upload it to YouTube, unlisted, and post it to your blog. The final step will be a final reflection and evaluation. You'll do this in 2 stages. You'll do a group evaluation and you'll also do a self-reflection. This is a super important part of the process as you reflect on what you've learned, what skills you've learned, and how you've learned them.